Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa,
And I'm still Sharyn.
and thank you once again for tuning in to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. We really appreciate everyone's opinions, everyone's comments, and everyone's
Mm-hmm.
suggestions. Not that we take them all, but we do read them all. So, just so you know. So
We do.
right before I get into today's topic, as you all know, it's shout out time. So, got 3 subscribers here that I would like to shout out. Let me just open my phone up because it
Mm-hmm.
was, and then it closed on me. So, first subscriber is Marlene. Thank you for your wonderful comments, and we appreciate your support. Also, Jacqueline, we see you too, sis, and we appreciate you. And Dace, and I hope I am pronouncing that right, but it's DACE.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you for your opinions and we thank you for your comments as well. We appreciate all of our subscribers. And want to just give one last shout out to our friend Maria who just celebrated her birthday. So happy birthday. And we appreciate you tuning in to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa as well. So
Is
today's topic is
you go.
bougie. What is it? Who is it? And why does it matter?
Mm. Mm.
So, and we had to put the little subtitles under there because Sharyn and I had two different, uh,
Perspectives on bougie.
yeah, two
Yeah.
different definitions on
Definitions, perspectives.
what
Yeah.
we thought bougie was. So, and we definitely would love your opinions, especially after you've heard us and have watched this episode. So just put it in the comments and don't forget to subscribe while you're doing that. And we thank you. We thank you.
Mm. Okay. Now I know we're going to light up the lines with this, but first of all, hello to everybody in lesbian land. I just want to talk about this, girls, because I I don't get it. So like Rosa says, we're going to talk about being bougie, defining bougie. It's we, again, we always make the disclaimers. We are not experts. We're just a lesbian couple from lesbian land, just navigating the world as it is today. And some stuff we simply don't understand, but we're trying to. So, which brought us into bougie because we hear the term and what it may mean to you may mean or sound different to me in my world. Remember, Rosa and I, well, I'm a lifelong lesbian, so is Rosa. Well, lifelong as in
Most of my life. I can't even say that.
yeah, no,
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 not
no,
even most of
no.
my
But
life. So.
she's one of us now. We brought her over, okay? No, seriously, but the thing with bougie, I don't care how you spell it, whether it's Bougie, I don't know.
I think it's Boujee or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
short for bourgeois, I don't. So here we go. But we've all heard the word before, right? So when we say bougie, what does that mean? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? Is it good to be bougie? And as we talk about it for a while today, how does it manifest itself within lesbian land? Okay, because it is all about us. All conversations come back to us. Okay, so here we go. Bougie. Bougie is, as defined by some, it's a classist statement about people who are very focused on their finances, their education, their social economic status within this society. Now, it's not a bad thing, and if you need a point of reference, if you remember Whitley from A Different World, one could say she was bougie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you remember Olivia Pope from Scandal, she was definitely bougie. Okay, and so it's not a bad thing. So first, I hate to start off things with a question. When we say bougie, what comes to your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now it's really hitting home because Rosa and I, we do have many conversations. But last month, Rosa says, I think you're a little bougie.
I said in certain areas.
I don't care, but she said, I think you're a little bougie in certain areas. But I did not know she saw me that way. And I was surprised, a little put off, but not really. And so I'm saying, is that a compliment, or is that the way she saw me when we first got together? And as for my friends who support us, when we say bougie, do y'all think I'm bougie? Or do you think Rosa's bougie?
Oh, they know I'm not bougie.
You know, so
y'all already know.
yeah. So
If anything, they like, no, she just ghetto.
yeah, but okay. And as you say that, why do we have to go from ghetto to bougie?
Right.
Because one thing about bougie was exemplifying the very, very rich and how they relate to the very, very poor. It's those people in between that were bougie. You don't have to be a Rockefeller or Kennedy or what's Beyonce's husband name?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. You don't have to be somebody that got that mega wealth. But I'm just saying. So, is bougie an attitude? And how about these people who like? Well, I belong to the African American ski club, and my father is a judge. And my mother was the head of a medical practice, and my kids go to the Dewdrop In Academy up in La Jolla. What So if they go through all that kind of stuff, they letting you know what their credentials are, or they're merely broadcasting to you what's important to them. Mm-hmm. You ever see
but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bougie. They could just be bragging. Some people brag because they don't have anything else behind them, like substance wise,
okay,
as in their character. But again, too, I don't necessarily know that if somebody said all of that to me, or my child goes to this school, my parents are founders of this, they might just be proud, because we as African Americans normally don't have a long history of
generational wealth. Yeah, that we can reflect.
Good things happening in your family. So
right.
When you can say your grandmother's grandmother, I probably would go there too. I mean, it wouldn't be the first thing when you met me, I would say. So it just depends on how that person says it. I think, I don't necessarily know if I would consider them automatically thinking they're bougie.
Well, if one was to be bougie or classified as bougie or saw themselves as bougie, and they have the luxurious life, and they got the big bank account, and they drive in the what's the guy who was driving the car yesterday?
Oh, Maserati.
The Maserati or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even spell Maserati. You won't find me driving one. Okay, but if that's bougie, or the worldly possessions of people who really focus on that, and they feel that what they have makes them who they are, right? So how does this affect us in lesbian land? Well, I'm gonna tell you how it affects us, because I be reading some of the emails and all, and some of the women out there who are trying to catch somebody and be with somebody, when a person asks you where you work, how much you make, what's your address, how much education you got, what's your family lineage, and what church have you and your family belonged to for the last 50 years, sweetie, that's not a date. They checking you out. They want to see if you even qualify to even talk to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I've said this several times in one of our broadcasts. There are women out there that I know, that I socialize with, who will never date a working woman who's at Home Depot. That's just too blue collar for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with working at Home Depot, especially as the world has changed. All work is honorable if it's honorable work, okay? So I'm saying, why do people ask you those questions? And can you be bougie by definition and still be very humble? And I know everyone pick her as an example, but I think Oprah we all know that she's very, very rich, but we also see her humanity, that she's very, very humble. Mm-hmm. Now, for you sports lovers out there, and I am not one of them, but the guy, LeBron James, super rich from Akron, Ohio. And this brother has committed himself and his people and his staff to the betterment of black people. Mm-hmm. So I don't doubt that. I know he's in LA now and got a what, a 55,000 square foot home and private pool and indoor basketball loop and all that, and he deserves all that because he's worked very, very hard for it.
Right.
But I also tell you, he has not forgotten where he came from.
Yeah.
And that's what I dig about him.
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't consider him being bougie, though. You know,
No.
I mean, for me, when it comes to
depending on what you're
bougie-
looking at. Hold on, it's according to what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So and like I say, so my question to everyone out there is: bougie an attitude? Is it a status?
Well, for me, if you have all of this wealth, fame, you know,
Recognition.
generational recognition stuff, if you have all of that, that's one thing. But to have it and look down on the next person who doesn't is another.
Oh, it is, and
So-
when you say look down though, and
Right, sort of like what you were just saying when you said I have friends who won't date people
yeah,
that you know
that
work at Home Depot, and it's like, you know, that doesn't define who that person is. It may be just who they are at this time in their life, or maybe they may have been going through something. They may have just, you know, had, it might be their second job where you've seen them. They might be a chef, a corporate lawyer somewhere. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm just saying,
You don't know.
for me,
It doesn't
to go
matter.
in there and to say, you work at home, you know, that's the bougie attitude that I
Yes,
think when you
yes.
start, you know, looking down on people for whatever they're doing, if it's less than what you're doing, then it's bougie. Because you could be the one that's working at Home Depot and say, I'm never dating somebody who work at McDonald's. Oh, really? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you think your class, you know, wherever your class is,
it's higher than that other person's.
yeah, exactly.
Right,
So
right, right.
you know, for me, it's an attitude. And when I said that to Sharyn the other week, it was like she had made a comment, and I was just like, that's a little on the bougie side. Like you know, nobody's better than anybody. I don't care what you're doing, what your figures are that you're making, what you're driving, what home or zip code you live in, or what private schools your kids go to. We are all still the same. So to me, it's the attitude.
What I was declaring was just that just because you have more and want more and decidedly has gotten more and want more for your children and your spouse and all, that does not make you a bad person. What it surely doesn't. And all cheers to the victor. But what I'm saying is just the attitudes of sometimes that you see that goes with that. You know, if I used to say, you know, we're here in Southern California, right here in San Diego, so the people, who lives in La Jolla? And my answer would be whoever can afford it. You know, if you black, brown, or if you got stripes down your back, I don't care. If you can afford, you know, that $15 million home that gives you that view of the Pacific Ocean, good for you. But that by no means make you better than me.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. When people think,
right, and I'm not saying the person that does do that thinks that they're better. If they start thinking that they're better than the next person, that is what puts them in that bougie category.
Right.
It's not because you do have.
Right, but
It's
your
just how you perceive that what you are because of what you have.
You're standing in life. Like all of a sudden you should be exalted because like, oh well, you know,
because I live in La Jolla.
and I got 2 PhDs, and you know, like I said, we're living on the other side of La Jolla, and my kids only go to the Kitten Smitten school up in La Jolla, and you know, I sent the other one on, you know, to France because she really wants to cook and know how to do it right. Whatever, you're saying those things because you're declaring who you are, and more importantly, what you have, and you feel that what you have makes you who you are, and the attitude that goes with that, that's assigned to that, to me, all of that makes you bougie. There are people who you have no idea what they're sitting on, where they came from, what they got, and where they're going.
As humble as
as apple pie,
right.
Exactly. So you say, what? I didn't know that. What? He owns it? You know what I mean? All of it? Yeah, exactly. And look the other way. He owns that too. And he's just a regular guy named Joe. You know, so, but that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the people who are evaluating you by their own standards.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you let your child... Oh, I remember years ago, I was, you know, with a friend, and they were putting a party on for the young man who... They were putting a party on for an individual who just got his EDD. And the statement was, well, you don't really have to go because it's not like he's getting a PhD. Whoa. I mean, I just thought that was so shitty. It was not a nice thing to say. But where's that coming from? Because it comes from people who all have their PhDs and they feel anyone who has something lesser than that, we're going to evaluate you on that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Right, but it's not to say that the person couldn't have gotten a PhD if they wanted to. If you got a EDD, that's a PhD.
Yeah, but we're not
level.
looking at that. We're looking at you like freeze frame.
Level. Yeah,
right, freeze frame. Or you know how people sometimes tell you, if you do ask where they live at, and they don't tell you their neighborhood or their zip code, because see out here they will ask you your zip code.
Absolutely.
So when I say 92106, that is definitely Point Loma, a neighborhood that I love, and they were like, what street you live on in Point Loma? Because as people are talking to you, they are giving you pluses and minuses. They are evaluating you. When we're talking about bougie, you know what I mean? And it happens with us within our people. I'm talking as two black women. But it also happens to us as gay women in the world. So let's take this back to lesbian land. There are groups of women out there who will not date and do not want to date, more or less be photographed with blue-collar lesbians. Because that's not who they are. That's not what they do. There is one website, and I think I mentioned this before, that you have to be making a six-figure salary to even be part of their, I don't want to say stable, but, just to be part of the group. And then they want you to prove that you make six figures. Well, why would somebody do that? Because it matters to them. And as I always tell Rosa, it matters to whom it matters. So, if you were out there, and I'm talking to my buddies out there in lesbian land who are maybe not hooked up seriously or whatever, and they're looking and they're still dating, and we're in the age of COVID, and how do you date that, which has changed the complexion of dating and so. But how do you guys react when you meet women who, gosh, there's an attraction, she's very nice, she's kind, she's 7 out of the 10 things you're looking for, and she's giving you that thing like, I'm an attorney, and well, you just don't really cut it for me, because you work at the post office, which is a wonderful place to work. It's still in this day and age. So that's what I'm saying. It's about who they are and how they see you. And I assure you, you're not coming high on the list if you don't value the things that they value. That's all we're saying. So and I don't mean the physical things. Like if you like blue eyes, green eyes, and golden eyes, I hope you find somebody with them. You know what I mean? Because that's what that really turns you on.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's got to be 5'11" and 19% body fat and speaks 3 languages. Okay, you know what I mean, and make a minimum of, So look, good luck with that list.
Yeah,
which is not even realistic.
I don't even know why we are there as a society, like
society, or just smaller society of society. I'm talking about.
You talking about the lesbian?
Yeah.
But I mean,
you think we're like that?
Whether it's in lesbian land or outside of lesbian land, we are there as a society.
Oh, gosh, yeah, we are.
We definitely do that within our own, and to look down on someone, I get it. It's a preference. Everybody's entitled to their own preferences. It's just like, I don't want to date a woman who has children, or I don't want to date a woman who, works for 7-Eleven, or, got a low, I don't know.
Credit score.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you got a low credit score or whatever, I mean, it's your preference, and I get it. But when you are at a certain status, when your credit score is good to go, when you're making 6 figures, when you are...
Or 7.
From the outside, when people are looking in, seem like you are doing it right, and then you look down on people, that's what we're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we're talking about. It's like, okay, but you may not always had the great credit score or make 6 figures. To not know where you've come from, or to be able to understand or empathize with that audience, is definitely what I would say bougie.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's the attitude that comes with it. Yeah. It really does. And we had gone to we were in a different social circle. And anyhow, so make a long story short, the bottom line that one of the ladies was an attorney. I don't know how many times you can fit in a sentence, I'm an attorney, but she made it happen about at least 11 times, and we were only there for 2 hours. So, and I'm just thinking, like, I heard you the first time. Congratulations. Wonderful. What is your practice? So, I'm going to be mildly interested for 4.5 nanoseconds, okay? But the fact that she kept saying, well, I'm an attorney. Well, I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney, and I'm just like, wonderful,
Right.
wonderful. And it was the attitude that came with it, because even as I saw her navigate the evening and the people who were there, it was just some people I just think she was giving shade to. Now maybe that's just her attitude, maybe that's just who she is, that's just her makeup. But I'm sure some of that came in that same package was, and I'm an attorney, and it got old real quick for me. Because with me, it's not about what you have, it's who you are.
Right.
And I'm going to say, have I dated the lady at 7-Eleven? No, but I did. Well, we could have dated. She was awfully lovely. Like, why you? What shift do you work? That was.
And she still worked there.
She does, but she's very nice, But all I'm saying, it don't matter to me. You treat me good, and I'm treating you good, and the sun is shining on both of us. Now don't get me wrong. When it's nothing wrong with looking again at somebody you get ready to hook up with on a serious note. You do need to know if her shoe size is bigger than her credit score. You know what I mean?
That's so true. And
you might want to have some issues with that, or at least like, how can we fix this? Right. And what are your goals?
Right.
What are your goals? Because if you're okay with having a -6, and I'm being dramatic,
right.
You know what I mean? Credit score. Well, that if my values and my my goals don't match up with yours, I don't know how we're going to fit that.
Exactly.
That credit score together. When we go looking for a home. What I mean?
And don't look for people just for what they have, because you never know what the backstory is. I was watching Girlfriends, the show Girlfriends.
Yeah, we all love.
It's old, but I was watching
it
on Netflix or Hulu or one of them, and so it was the episode where Tony is married to the white guy, who I think he's like a doctor or something.
Yeah,
and she realized that he can't afford a home for her, so she's ready to divorce him. Like, well, I thought you had this, and I thought you had that, and what about your house that you have? And he's like tied up. All his money's like tied up somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it's like, just because he's a doctor, she married him and thinking, his credit score is bomb. He, can put her in this beautiful home that she dreams of. And you guys, if you know the show, you know what Tony.
The premises, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she a little bougie too.
Oh, she's very bougie. She's very bougie.
But I think she's bougie because she doesn't want to be who she was growing up in Fresno. So her whole thing is, I'm not that person anymore. So I'm this, and it's just so superficial. But anywho, but I'm saying that to say she married this guy because he was a doctor, and not knowing, like, now he can't afford yet.
Right. She married him for what she thought he had.
Right, and that's what I think. Mm-hmm. When you're meeting somebody and you consider them bougie and this, that, and the other, it's like, but you don't know what they have or who they are behind the scenes, in the other way around. They don't know who you are. You could be the woman at the Slurpee counter at 7-Eleven, but have a bank full of money more than they do. You know what I'm saying?
And an heir.
You could have been an heir, and you just don't want to touch the money and want to work like regular people. I mean, it just depends on who you are. Yeah. And Bougie does come with an attitude and a flair.
It can. It can. Oftentimes it does.
Right. And, I just, if I see people like that, it's to me, it's a turn off. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's a turn off.
And because we're human and we're in the real world, and I'm back, my sister's in lesbian land, we can be just as bougie, sweetie. And I don't know why we are. If not more. And I remember when like a friend of mine was turning on to the Dinah Shore thing. This is years ago, over 20 years ago, and I'm like, I don't golf. She said, don't worry, it's a bunch of women there. You'll find something to do with your time, right? And I went a couple of years, and whether they were white, black, in between, floating between races, whatever, I found them, and I don't care. I found them bougie. And it just turned me off, and I didn't want to put a line through all of them because I had met some very nice people, and I do enjoy Palm Springs. My wife loves Palm Springs,
Yes.
but it was just I just didn't care for the vibe I was getting. It didn't work for me. You know, maybe some people went and found joy. I don't know, but I surely didn't. You know, and like I said, it just turned me off,
Yeah.
and I was doing some reading about urban definitions of bougie and all, and evidently something's going on. Like nowadays, when black people are naming their children, they name their children as though this is what they want to see on the resume. So you see people name like Bryce and Braxton and and Clarion and Tyler and Peyton. Those are my children. Because we do that intentionally so that someone cannot read your name and just assume you're from the south side of Chicago, or you just came in from Sweden.
But that's not why I named mine.
No,
Tyler and Peyton. But
listen to
I
this.
hear you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, we have to be mindful of the world that we live in. Mm-hmm. It's simple as that. I mean, wherever our hearts are and how we feel about things, no matter what, we still live in the real world day to day. Yeah. It's as simple as that. So with that, I'd love to hear you guys' opinions about the bougie thing. But I tell you, whatever your preference is, I hope you find it. But I hope you're not looking at, and I'm sure we don't.
The outer appearance and not necessarily the inner appearance.
Well, she's pretty. This is years ago when I was in the Navy, and there were people who would just write some random sailor on a ship. So I get a letter, this is for the morale of the troops, like, hey, thank you for serving our country. And so someone of the letters had come to me, I just happened to pick it out of the box actually. So I'm reading the letter, and the lady says, thank you for serving our country. All you need to know about me is that I'm blonde, 5'7" with blue eyes. I said, well, I'm not. I'm black.
She was hoping somebody else got that letter.
Look, I guess she just assumed she was right that a man would do it. I'd say, but like, I'm a woman and I'm on my way to that. We should be pulling it into Jabel Ali in the next 24 hours. But anyway, it was funny because she felt that her looks, whatever they were, that's all you need to know about me.
Enough for the scene.
Right. I don't know your sign. I don't know where you went to school. I don't know if you can talk in complete sentences. She said it was so I'm blonde and 5'7" and blue eyes. Well, now, doesn't that change everything?
Exactly.
So it's just interesting when we come at
the superficial part. It's the superficial part for me.
Really?
It's like the whole her saying exactly describing herself like it was going to
get her in and
make
over
something bigger.
Right.
I mean, to me, it's like you're writing the sailors and thanking them for their service, and just say something nice that like about
stay safe. Yeah.
The Navy or the Army or whatever, whoever you're writing. I mean, just something like that.
My dad was in the Army. That kind of thing.
They want quality letters. They don't care, know. So. And she could have been. She didn't know she was writing to a gay woman. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Because Sharyn could have came back with something different.
Well, it did. I did now.
Okay, then we can meet up. Since you 5.
I'll be back in San Diego by the 12th. I'm saying, how will I recognize you? All right, you're blonde and blue eyes and 5'7". Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Well, I'll be carrying a Bible and a rose.
Under the tree.
So, I'm gonna put Rosa on the spot for a minute. So, here's my question, sweetie. After all our conversations about this, and I mean, it's not going to make or break us, of course not. But do you still think I'm bougie in some ways?
I think in some areas you can be very bougie.
You're gonna have to give me an example because I don't see it.
Sometimes it's some of the things that you say, and I'm like,
okay, give me an attitude that you think that I have that would make someone think I might be bougie.
See, now you getting ready to lose some friends.
Yes. Why you say? Well, we can't say name. Now, wait a minute. Now, you know how to get around that.
But if I tell you the incident we were there, they would know. So yeah,
Okay,
I'm
well,
just not.
we got to clean this up for broadcast.
Yeah, no, we're not cleaning nothing up. I'm just not gonna say anything, but I'm just telling you.
But
you
we're
know.
filming,
and I normally call you out right at the point where I'm thinking that you act bougie sometimes. You know, I mean, you do.
And you know what?
Okay, let me give you a small. Let me give you a small one there, because this one doesn't really affect anybody.
Because I'm on deny.
So we'll go out to eat. Let's say we're in a group, and my wife is like, I'm not counting who had what to eat, and we'll just pick up the tab. And I'm looking like, so now we about to pay about $300 for 6 people sitting here because you don't want to go through the receipt to say. And I'm not saying I do either, because it takes a lot. But when, if they mistakenly put everything on the same, ticket or something like that, it's like, I don't want to have to go through, who had the lobster, and
who had extra fries,
exactly.
Right.
And people stiffen you. So I get it, but it's your attitude and the way you say it, like that's beneath you to even figure out who ate what.
And you think that's bougie?
I think you get to it's an attitude that you have, like it's just beneath you, and you're not gonna do that when 4 other people at the table okay with doing it.
Oh look, they get you down to $1.65, and
yeah. So I'm saying that's a real small one, but
first of all, I don't agree. I hear what you're saying, and I think I remember.
You gonna disagree regardless of what I said. You already said I'm getting ready to disagree with it.
No, I don't argue with the truth. I do not argue with the truth.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that is it. And
that may not be the best example. That's one that I can come up with right now without ruining friendships. But
I just think it was just being kind or generous, or I had probably hit the number that week or something like that. I just happened.
No, it has happened more than once.
Okay.
And you haven't always hit the number, or whatever. It has happened more than once. But anyway, I'm just saying that to say you do. Sometimes her attitude is bougie.
But what's important, you still love me, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm the bougie boo. How you like that one? I'm the bougie boo.
I'm not saying you bougie.
And I hear what you're saying.
You're not bougie all the time.
That's good to know.
Because it's a turn off to me. So, if I had seen that in the first
6 months. 2 months. Oh, you say 2 months? Like we were on an accelerated dateline.
Wouldn't have happened. But yeah. So
I think you may be mislabeling it. But I'm going to say, and I hate.
But that's what the conversation is. We have different definitions of what bougie is, and that's mine. And I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, I'm just gonna take that one, but we're gonna talk about this offline. Okay, so all right, so here we go. So how do you know if you were a bougie woman? And guess what? I think some of you are with some bougie women out there, and you think, well, I don't think she's bougie. I'm just gonna give her everything she wants because I'm the butch and she's the femme and all that. Like those kind of things kind of drain into that pot, if you will, And if you want to be bougie and you ain't got the finances to back it up, well, then you're going to have bills because you're trying to act like you bougie. You see what I'm saying? Or like, left some friends at the airport. Well, we just came in from wherever, and what? You're not going to Rio this year? What? That kind of stuff, and it makes you crazy because I don't like you for who you are, for what you have. I like you for who you are. And you come to our house or one of our gatherings and stuff like that. As one lady said, she said, Sharyn, I don't know if I'm going to meet the CEO of Qualcomm or some hooker. You know what I mean? Because I like everybody. I mean, I don't. You are who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you're at our house, you could be CEO or you could be a hooker.
A hooker. Oh, yeah.
We just friends. I don't care what you're doing.
Right. You treat me nice, and
your job has nothing to do with us.
And you make an excellent dry martini for my wife. You know what I mean? So what? You invited. You know what I mean? Exactly. Just don't throw bones on the floor. But seriously, I mean, I think I'm very, very open to to people, and I don't, like I said, I don't pick my friends by their, what they got. Man, half the time I don't know what they got. It ain't my business. I just know you're a buddy, and I like you, and
absolutely,
you dig me. So how are we going to wrap this up? My thing, if you walk away with nothing else, I just want us to take our own temperature on this. How you define bougie is how you define bougie. I don't think there's a right and a wrong. It's just what you've been exposed to out there. Though, like I say, I think it's very easy to mislabel it. Some people are just particular. Some people just want the finer things of life in life. Some people just think what they got makes them who they are. Do they all come under the same umbrella of bougie? Maybe yes, maybe no. So because I'm thinking it's the attitude that goes along with it.
It is the attitude, but like it's so much more too. But that's just
Yes.
that's the whole diva thing. Like people call themselves diva, and you be like, ain't nothing diva about her.
Oh.
Because your definition of diva is not who that person technically is.
Diva. Oh, I hate that. It's so overused.
That's kind of what bougie is. It's like people label themselves bougie, and you're like, but you're really not.
Yeah.
So it just comes with the attitude of whoever you're speaking to or whoever is in that moment at the time, and it could be different the next time
Absolutely.
you see somebody. So
yes, that's true.
It kind of is one of those things that floats. One of your friends who you don't think is bougie now, next time you see it, be like, dang, she all bougie and everything now.
Right.
So
right.
it could just kind of be one of those things that float.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And you say it does differ, you know,
and it can.
But again, from the walk away with it is like I say, people who are, very focused on their status in life, what they look like, what they have, where they go to school at, how much money they make, what their children are doing, all of that. And they also is accompanied by usually, more often than not, an attitude with that.
Right.
The takeaway for me for the bougie thing is, like I say, is for people to there's some people are just really focused on who they are, where they at, where they live at, their social economic status in the community, and those things. And with that comes an attitude with of superiority. You know what I mean? And we've seen it. As what would the judge say? Like I don't know how to I don't know how to label it, but I know it when I see it. When you're around bougie people, and I'm just saying I don't even know why we got to come from that, because we're all sugar and salt, and we all bleed red. So
absolutely.
So for this week, I hope you got something out of that, because I'm still curious as to why my wife thinks I'm sometime bougie. We're going to talk about that off camera, and until next time, we're wishing you the very best
of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. Love you.